MLS, MLS,
MLS, MLS, MLS, MLS.
Oh,
What does it actually stand for?
it's MLS. It stands for MLS, and MLS is back. The Exploding Heads are back for another day of MLS hot action. We're here for Atlanta United versus the Red Bulls, the New York Red Bulls, the Red Bulls of New York, those Red Bulls of the town of New York, the city that never sleeps, much like us. We never sleep. We haven't slept very much at all, jetting all over the place because we can't go to the stadiums. And we are having a fantastic time traversing America. My name is Anthony Richardson. I'm here with former professional footballer turned current pundit Ian Five Ankles, who played for the Portland Wardrobes in the Indoor Soccer League of America in 1997. Ian, how you doing?
So tired. Really tired.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's just, the adrenaline's just hit you. You're in New York, the city that never sleeps. And as I was saying in the intro, you never sleep. That's how dedicated you are to MLS is back. The MLS tournament is back.
I haven't slept in 4 days, pretty much. I'm grateful for the Red Bulls, literally for the team and the drink, because that's what's keeping me awake right now. Fun fact about New York. I believe they do a running of the Red Bull every summer where they just release a great big angry Red Bull and it runs amok through the Wall Street region. All these businessmen running for their lives. I don't think I'm going to be here when that happens, which is a shame because I would have filmed it.
We're going to be speaking to Jeremiah Disney. He's finally with us. Jeremiah Disney, he is Walt Disney's great-great-grandson's next-door neighbour who happens to share the same name to Walt Disney's great-great-grandson. No longer has the Disney name, and that's one of the many fascinating aspects we're going to talk to Jeremiah Disney about, because he is no blood relation. He just happens to share the same name, but he is absolutely pumped for the tournament. We just know he is from the text conversations we've been having on WhatsApp. And hey, you and Jeremiah, Ian, you've been talking on the WhatsApp group. You were talking about you both visited the same bar, I think it was, in Michigan.
Yes, a couple of years ago now. What a small world, eh? He was there and I was there at totally different times, different years in fact, but we've both been to the same place. Would you believe it?
You can't take away those memories. But firstly, let's play Wakey JK.
Wakey JK!
Every day on the show, we are, as it's a breakfast show, waking up a different person in the world called Jake. In our little sting, our little sequence we like to call Wakey JK. Wakey JK!
Jakey,
today's
wake up!
Guest is yes, Ian. Today's guest is no exception. His name is Jake, and it's ringing now. Love this, Ian. I love this. Here he comes. Wakey JK!
Get up!
I'm already awake. I didn't even need to set an alarm. Why did I do this?
Okay. We'll shortly preview Atlanta United versus New York Red Bulls, but firstly, a word from our sponsor. We are sponsored by the state of Iowa, who are looking to get an MLS expansion team in 2039. And every evening, we are kicking back and relaxing in the state of Iowa. No expenses spared in a Airbnb motel in Des Moines. And let me tell you this, I haven't been to a more welcoming state, and I've already been to 4 states so far on my trip. Ian, just a few words about Des Moines and Iowa as a greater whole.
Yes, I call it the welcoming state. I mean, I haven't actually seen much of it. Last night when we got back, it was so late and I was so tired. I fell asleep next to the recycling bins in the car park. So that's as much as I saw of Des Moines last night, but I'm told it's really picturesque. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Do you know what I like about it? It's so flat, but there are peaks too, as we've discussed earlier on. It's got some real mountains, but at the same time, you can see all around you, and that's what I like in a state. Did you know, Ian, that the state is home of the fancy house in Grant Wood's famous painting American Gothic, which he saw when he was passing through Eldon, Iowa in 1930. He went home and he painted the house in his studio, then added the dour, I don't know how you pronounce that, but she was a dour-looking woman.
She was.
And a man. that both of them, they were modelled after his dentist and his sister respectively. And actually, just in tribute, had a chat with on the old WhatsApp with a couple of the marketing guides from Iowa 2039. I've actually mocked up my own American Gothic featuring my own dentist, and I took a picture of the woman who runs our motel, Airbnb motel in Des Moines.
She scares me.
There they are. And put them in American Gothic, the house of American Gothic. So that's a cool little tribute to Des Moines and Iowa. Even though the painting wasn't in Des Moines, it feels like it was, because you know when you go to a state and you go to its main city, it feels like that city is the state, especially as we haven't actually gone, apart from the airport, we haven't actually gone to any other bits of. So it's a big,
why have you done
game
that,
today, Ian.
Why have you done that?
It's a big game, and as always, we've flown to our cities we are featuring today. I am here in Atlanta, and Ian, you're in the Big Apple itself. Warm apple pie.
Yeah.
New York City, the city that never sleeps. I've heard that New York Red Bulls don't play in New York City, but you're still in New York and you're just having such a great time out there. I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a mishap, if I'm honest. I thought I was getting on a coach from the airport, but it turned out to be a tourist coach. It was a hop-on, hop-off, but evidently the hop-off option wasn't open to me. So I found myself in Central Park being bundled into a horse-drawn carriage and doing laps of Central Park, which I didn't want. Under normal circumstances, I would have loved it, but I've got a job to do. I'm dog tired, and the horse was in a right mood, so it wouldn't stop. I did 28 laps of Central Park.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I'm having a lovely time.
Well, let me tell you, mate, Atlanta, I mean, they call New York the city that never sleeps. This is the city that never stops supporting their home teams. You've got the Atlanta United in this game. You've got Atlanta. There's like a basketball team, and
do they ever play each other?
I'm sure there's no, they don't play each other, but I'm sure there's other franchises as well in this great city. And let me tell you this, mate, I've had a special Atlanta breakfast for MLS Breakfast. A special Atlanta breakfast. I've had a fluffy breakfast biscuit.
What the hell is that?
It's specifically for the Atlantans themselves. They're very proud of their fluffy breakfast biscuits. And
Tell me what that is.
Lo and behold, it's actually a muffin. Really confusing. Muffins are called biscuits here. And afterwards, I said to them, anything else to eat? And they said, yep, how about this? And that's in a wrapper. I'm not quite sure, but I'm looking forward to noshing down on that on the plane on the way back.
I would never eat something I didn't know what it was. But that's where you and I differ. You are more adventurous like that.
What have you had for your breakfast today?
Well, I couldn't...
In New York special breakfast.
I mean, it is the city famous for breakfast, but I couldn't get out of the horse-drawn carriage, so I had to make do with a bit of hay that the horse didn't want. Not the best breakfast I've ever had, to be honest, but it's all sustenance, isn't it? I feel satiated. I'm ready to go. Please, can we sleep soon?
In a second, we'll be talking about Atlanta United versus the New York Red Bulls. But firstly, it's time for our MLS Superfan of the Day. Every day on this show, we will be talking or listening from an MLS superfan who is going to explain why their team deserves to win. And today is no exception. Here is today's MLS superfan. It's this person.
DC United are going to win the tournament, boys. They're going to do it for Freddie Adu. I'm supposed to say Adu. Go on, boys!
So shortly we'll be previewing the big game. But first, let's take a look at Mascots of the Day. And look no further for today's mascot is Atlanta United's mascot, which is Spiky the Big Post. Ian, this is a post that that someone hammers into the ground. I think it's I think it's got feelings and it cheers the team on from a very central and static position.
That must be quite brutal when it's being hammered over the head into a static position pre-game.
Well, Ian, it's signed beforehand by celebrities. They hammer it into the ground. It does have feelings. It does wish the team well. It can't feel pain, which is very, very lucky for it.
That's good. That would upset the kiddywinks otherwise.
Now, Ian, the Atlanta FC, they're nicknamed the Five Stripes. That's what they wear. They symbolise the 5 symbols of unity, determination, nutrition, being nice, and hefty economic investment. They've got English players, Ian. Mo Adams, who played 5 times for Reading in 2017, but not Reading FC, Reading United.
Oh, right.
Don't know if they're pronounced Reading or Reading in America, but another player, Lawrence Wyke, he spent time at Man United's academy before heading to America to study and play college soccer. How do you study soccer, Ian? You're a student of the game. How do you study?
Well, there's no degrees for it. Well, there weren't when I was studying it, but I like to think of myself as a professor of keepy-uppies, the master of the penalty run-up. I actually studied penalty run-ups as iambic pentameter just so it felt more literary and more educational, because actually I'm blowing my own trumpet a bit, but most footballers are really very stupid, and I'm not. I'm only marginally stupid.
And Brad Guzan in goal. Haven't got anything. There's nothing written here to say about Brad Guzan. The New York Red Bulls, Ian. You've been in this city for about 3 or 4 hours now. You've stepped off the plane, wide-eyed, bright, bushy-tailed with excitement about the team. Tell me about them and tell me about the ethos of the team and how it invokes New York City FC, New York Red Bulls FC.
I love the synergy between sport and fizzy drinks. And to me, the New York Red Bulls must be the fizziest team in the MLS. Fizzy, but nutritional, like a kind of fizzy soup, it's called sort of sparkling soup. They do have an English player, it's right back Mandela Egbo, who spent time at Crystal Palace, and then he went on to Borussia Mönchengladbach, which is the ideal career path if you ignore the Crystal Palace bit.
That's absolutely fascinating. That there's more English players, it seems, playing for Atlanta United. So, I mean, just experience-wise, we're looking at them being the favourites for this one. But it's time now for the Iowa Predict the Score competition. This is the only score predictor in the history of soccer that is sponsored by a state. And this Iowa want to predict the score. And this is no exception today. I want to predict this one. So the consensus for Des Moines is out this year, Ian. It's due this year. There's an expected increase in population of 5.3%. Therefore, I'm predicting a 5-3 win for Atlanta United.
Interesting, although the consensus isn't out yet, so that's pure speculation. I would rather go with solid facts, so I've taken the last known consensus, which was 2010, which predicted, let me just check the figures, it showed an actual 2.4 increase. So I'm saying it's 4-2, an away win for the New York Red Bulls.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion.
No, that's facts. That's based on an actual consensus, so that can't be argued with.
Now it's time, of course, what we've all been waiting for, our chat with Walt Disney's great-great-grandson's next-door neighbour who shares the same name of the Disney, Walt Disney, but his the actual blood relation doesn't share the same name anymore. I believe it's because his mum married someone and took on his name. So,
have you seen the email?
Sorry, I'm just getting it now. Okay, so he's accidentally locked himself into his shed, and his wife and children are not due back for a couple of hours now. He's got a good signal apparently to email and text. He's still got the he's got mobile data, but his mobile bars, they're not showing at all. So can we reschedule the call for tomorrow? I'm absolutely stoked to announce that we're going to be talking to Jeremiah Disney tomorrow.
Can we not just do the interview over email? If he's got an email signal from his shed,
Let's just do it properly, or not at all, Ian. Let's just get the job done. We'll talk to him tomorrow when he's out of that shed and he's back in action, away from his shed. That's all we got time for today. Goodbye, Atlanta. Goodbye, New York. Tomorrow, after jetting back, of course, to Des Moines for the evening, we're in Salt Lake City, Ian, you're in Colorado for Salt Lake City, the real Salt Lake City versus the Colorado
Is
Rapids.
Colorado near where we're staying? Please let it be near where we're staying.
It's, well, there's mountains in Iowa, but I have to tell you, Ian, they're nothing like you're going to see tomorrow in Colorado. Let me tell you, it's the home of the Rocky Avalanches, and you are... Let's hope you've taken a scarf, because it can, even in July, it can get cold. Okay, I'm going to get back on the plane now. It's time to say goodbye from me, Anthony Richardson, and Ian Five Ankles. Goodbye.
Goodbye.